Hey guys, what's going on? Happy Friday and welcome to Keys Playback Circuit. Today I just want to take some time and show you how I would make some quick edits in my Ableton session. I see sometimes people, whether it's their song, how they have it programmed, that they can't make these edits or that they just don't know. And edits are really supposed to be easy. There's a couple things to keep in mind while you make them, but most edits that you should make should be about 30 seconds or less, maybe a minute tops if it's a tougher edit and you're doing a medley of songs. But I just want to show you some simple things that I've learned. A lot of this is from Studio to Stage, Will Doggett, his practices. And while we're chatting about that, all of the songs that I have formatted here are from his templates and from his teachings. And a lot of these edits that we make are going to be reliant on using those templates and the foundation that he's teaching. For example, having this song clip right here where you have just a clip that I can easily select an entire song, or this sections track right here where I can just grab sections of songs. Those are kind of the lifeline of navigating and making edits to your session. So if you want to learn how to do any of that stuff, go check out his Instagram and YouTube and his website at fromstudiotostage.com. But yeah, let's jump in. Let's start with this song over here, On Two Hands. I've actually made some edits with this live on the fly. Again, it took 10 seconds and the band was super happy with it. One more thing before we dive in that not everybody does, but I like to do it, is have this ghost group, which is basically just a monitor group. And I send everything, the song, and even the elements that are not played in the session, like drums and bass, those are played by an actual human being. I send those all to this ghost group. I send the click, the guide, and any other elements, the song title that plays at the beginning. I send all that here. That way I can have a reference on all the click and guide stuff that I'm making edits on top of all the elements in the song. That way I know where I'm at in the song. And then also I can play back the edit that I made without that ghost group turned on and just make sure that everything that's going to front of house with the edit that we made is making musical sense. So that'll make more sense as we go and I'll kind of explain it. But for now, I'm going to press S on my keyboard and that's mapped to solo for that. That way we can hear the entire song. I will get rid of those return tracks. I know this song is going to be loud, so I'm going to turn it down real quick. That would not be something that I do live. I'm just going to do it so that you can hear the click and the guide better. Let's dive in. What if, music director says, let's double this intro at the top? I feel like that's a very common edit, and it's not complicated at all. On my keyboard, or before that, I'm going to press this intro MIDI track right here on the sections clip, and then I'm going to press Shift Command D on my keyboard, and that will duplicate this track. And then now you see we have this verse guide right here. So if you don't need a guide right there, then just press 0 and that will disable it. If you need an intro guide, what I can do is select that intro right there and I can hold Option and I can drag it over there. You can also Command C to copy it, then Command V, whatever floats your boat in that situation. So let's check out this song title track. This is all chopped up and all. If I'm on stage and we need to make the edit on stage super quick, I'm not worried about it. If it's LTC, I'm worried about it. But you're probably not making those edits while you're on the stage. But let's say for the sake we do have the 2 seconds that it takes, I'm just going to redrag this entire song clip out. And if I was working with LTC, time code, then I would do the same exact thing. That is a must. You do not want to duplicate the time code track. And another tip too is when I program using LTC, I have the song name clip here, and then right under the song name, I have my LTC. That way I can quickly just select those and redrag those out. Kind of saves you a step there. Great, so this is looking good. Something that we can play back and listen to is if you had like riser or different effects going into the verse, you may want to mute those. I don't think this one does, so let's take a listen and see what we got. Intro, 2, 3, 4. So it sounds pretty good. The drums are kind of doing a fill because it goes into the verse. So that's not going to front of house, so we don't have to worry about that. Let's unsolo that return track and let's just listen to what's going to front of house and see how it sounds. So that makes sense. It makes musical sense to me. Again, if you had some risers or something, you may want to mute those. So let's go into our song here, and there's a clavinet part right there. Let's just act like that was an effect that we didn't want. Say that was a super abrasive riser going into the verse. Then I will just select this right here, and I'll press 0, and that is now out of the track. And if we want it back in, then we just press 0 again, and it's back in. So super easy. Again, just take the 10 seconds to listen to it. If you have the Ghost group, listen to it. That way you have the click and the guide in there and any other elements. If you don't, then just listen to it without that. But I listen to it both ways just to make sure that it all makes sense. One more thing that you do want to watch out is if you have, like I have these program changes right here. So if you know that you have a lot of different program changes in the sections, pay attention to those as well. Thankfully, a lot of my stuff is pretty basic, but there are some times where I have it switch patches in the middle of the songs. So same thing with the guide. Before I make the edit, I'll just check that out. I'll copy and paste those where I need them to go when the edit's made as well. That way everything lines up. So again, this song, we did make an edit, and we doubled this drum and bass section. And we did this like right as we walked on the stage. We were like, hey, this was our opening song for that day. We were like, hey, let's lengthen that. And it took me 2 seconds to do. So let's say we want to do the opposite. Let's say we want to delete the section. Well, it's as simple as pressing that on your sections track and then press Shift Command Delete. And now we don't have that. And now we will listen back. And then let's jump to the end. Not too much going on the tracks, and then we can also press solo.
Drum and bass, 2, 3, 4.
And that guide is good.
Bridge, all in, 3.
And that guide is good as well. Let's undo that actually. And let's say, for example, we were working with this side. Now that one we kind of had an easy out because this side doesn't have any guides or anything. But say we're working with this side of the section and we need this guide right here, right? Then I'll just select all of it. I'm actually going to press Command J just to make it easier. Now I'll press Command C to copy it, and then I'll make my edit, Shift Command Delete, and then I'll go right here and press Command V, and now we should have that bridge track.
Bridge, all in, 3.
Super, super easy. Final thing, if you have the time, just go ahead and I keep saying if you have the time, it's a really good habit just to go ahead and drag everything out, especially if you're working with LTC timecode. It is a must to do that. So yeah, that's our edit. Super, super easy. Let's do another edit. Let's do this solo. Say we want to take another solo. Maybe instead of that drum and bass that we took out, maybe we do a section of drum and bass, and then we go into a section of that solo. So I'll press this solo track right here. Then I'm going to press Command L, and that will loop it. I'll double click on that, and then I'll press Command C to copy it. Again, takes a little bit more time because I'm chatting about it, but let's do this in real time. So I will make this edit. And then that's ready to go. And now we will go over here to this drum and bass section. Say we want it after the drum and bass section. I'm just going to move this to here for now. That way it doesn't interfere. And then I'm going to press right up here because that's where we want to paste everything, since that's the topmost track. I'll press Shift Command V, and that should insert not only the stems, but it'll also insert the time. So it'll move the bridge back. And then watch out for this guide right here. And the reason that I moved the bridge track over is that way when we made the edit, it wouldn't be affected, and I can just drag it back right there. Now we do need to grab this guide over here, so we'll press Command C to copy that. And then we will bring it on over here and press Command V, and now we should have the solo.
Solo.
So let's listen to it without all the musical elements, only what's going in front of house, and let's see if that makes sense. So that flute kind of comes in where I wouldn't say it really is needed, so I'm just going to take that part out. Let's listen now. There's a string part that I hear. Let's take that out. And maybe that syndrome kind of shouldn't be there. I think it's, yep, that's it right there. Let's take that out and see if that sounds better. Sounds pretty good to me. Let's listen one more time. Let's see, there's kind of some effects. I think that's it. It kind of needs that fade out. I feel like it ends abruptly. Yeah, that's better. I mean, maybe if we wanted to, we could even drag it out some more, you know. And then if you want to, you can kind of fade it. So I press that, Option Command F, that will fade it and kind of, yeah, that sounds a lot better to me. So let's listen one more time. And that's kind of, again, taking the extra steps if you have the time, just to make sure that it's all clean. A lot of this stuff, when you're playing with the full band, you're not going to hear. So if you're in a time pinch, you know, maybe you don't spend that much time on it, but then you jot a note down to go back to it later, to listen to it. However your workflow is best, just think about that. I like to make sure at some point, if I can't make the edits, that I definitely go back and clean it up. But again, if it's in a pinch in a live band situation, unless it's like an abrasive riser or downlifter, it's probably not going to be that big of a deal. So just one thing, think about. And then lastly, if you want to, you can redrag that. And now our edit's made. Again, because I'm talking, it probably takes a little bit more time than what it would actually take. All right, next, let's talk about if we want to move some songs around. Say we are not using a setlist plugin, or if we just want to create a medley of songs, or even if you're using a setlist plugin, this is still a must-know skill to have. So let's grab this song right here. This is where that song clip comes in handy. I'm going to press Command L to loop it, double click up there, press Command C to copy that, and then let's put it, what if we put it right here? I'm just going to go ahead and add a locator, and I think this one was called False Reality. I'm going to move this back, that way when we paste it, it doesn't go anywhere. And then now we're going to press Shift Command V, and that's not only going to paste all the stems, the MIDI clips and everything, but it's also going to paste the time. So now that song moved back over here. That way we did not paste anything over top of it. And then we will go back over here and just drag our locator so that it's right on the song. And I'm using AbleSet for my setlist plugin, and I like it to stop if I'm not going into another song. So I will add this locator, and I'll just press or type in stop. And now we have False Reality moved over here.
False Reality. Intro. 2, 3.
Cool. And without the solo. Cool. So it sounds good to me. So let's do another common edit that is going to be very similar. Let's take a song, move it to another spot in our session, but let's also line the two songs up. That way it's like a medley of two songs. So let's drag this song, for example. So we'll press Command L, double click that, Command C to copy it, and then I'm thinking right behind this song. So let's go just right here, and we will press Shift Command V, and that will paste it along with the time. And then let's hear how this sounds. Yeah, so this is perfect because this has that kind of sample, and then this next song starts with a sample too. So we can, let's see how this might sound. We'll drag this. And the thing that you want to worry about here is your tempo track on the new song is going to drag over this. So let's see how this sounds.
Lost in a Dream.
So maybe I want to add some fades in those just to kind of make it sound a little more natural. So I'll grab this stuff right here. And then I will press Option Command F. That will fade that there. And then I think I want to fade these a good bit too. So let's see here. I just like to put the fade over everything. Let's try this. See if that sounds better.
Lost in a Dream. Lost in a Dream.
I kind of want the fade to be a little bit. Let's try that.
Lost in a dream.
Let's try.
Lost in a dream.
That sounds pretty good right there. I'm not too mad at that. So let's take this stop track. Since I'm using AbleSet, we want to make sure that we get that out there. Great. So let's unmute our ghost track that we have and just listen to what's going in front of house. That sounds pretty good to me. Maybe there's a little bit more of a gap that we wanted. So maybe if you wanted to, we could take these fades and kind of have it a little bit faster. Let's try this. That sounds pretty good to me. And then let's just make sure that everything in the clicking guide is good.
2, 3, 4. Lost in a dream.
And then I guess last thing here in that is I'm just going to take this click and drag this back. This is a sample where the band doesn't play in this section. And then we come in where this click and this guide come in here. But yeah, I think that sounds pretty good to me. Last thing I'm going to do, since I'm running with AbleSet, is just add my stop marker right here. And we're good to go. I think that's everything that I have for you today. Again, just keep in mind some of the things to look out for. Watch out for LTC. Watch out for your guide tracks. Watch out for your MIDI cues, or not your MIDI cues, your program change tracks whenever you're making these edits. I hope that this was helpful for you. I hope that you can now go and make edits super quick. And if you're confused on any of this in the song formatting sense, then be sure to check out Will Doggett stuff. That way you're able to make these edits super quick, just like we have today. If you have any questions, leave some stuff in the comments. Let me know what you think, and I'll see y'all next time.